What's going on, guys? BouseFeenux here, and today, as you can tell by the title, we are taking a look at Gwent, which is really surprising because, as I said in my last video, this is one of the games I was least likely to take a look at, but there were a lot of you that were actually really excited about seeing this game on the channel in the comments, and I've got a few friends that are longtime players that kind of helped to bring me up to speed and show me the ropes, and that got me excited for it as well. So for today's video, I figured I'd start simple and go with a few short tips to kind of give you, as a new player, some guidance as to what you should be doing with your first few hours of learning the game. So just real quick, if you clicked on this video because it looked interesting and if you got no idea what Gwent is, let me fill you in on that real quick. Gwent is a standalone card game based on the minigame Gwent from the Witcher universe. It first appeared in the third Witcher game and was so popular that CD Projekt Red, the game's developer, decided to polish up the game a little bit, change some things around, and then make it its own thing, which is what we're taking a look at now. Gwent is free to play and is available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Currently, there is cross-platform play between Xbox One and PC, with PC and PS4 cross-platform play to be added in the future. So now that we've kind of gotten all that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump in. Note real quick though that this isn't necessarily a guide on how to best play the game in an actual match because A, due to my current experience with the game, I'm not really in a position to offer that kind of advice yet, and B, Gwent is very simple to play. The game and the tutorial do a really good job at teaching you the basics of how to get in and play a match. But what this video is though, is a set of short tips to help you learn the game faster and make the best use of your first few hours playing. So let's start simple. What's all this stuff in the top right-hand corner of the screen? Well, from left to right, we have first your account level. As you play matches, this level increases, allowing you to access some of the other features the game has to offer, like milling cards and playing ranked matches. We'll talk about those more here in a second. Next, this little stone with gold all over it is your ore count. Ore is essentially your premium currency in the game, but it can be earned through playing matches and completing challenges, meaning you can't buy it. The only thing you'll spend this on are kegs, which are essentially the game's card packs, and instead of buying ore to buy kegs, you just straight up buy the kegs. Moving on though, the little colored emblem next to your ore are your scraps. These are used to craft individual cards. Scraps can be gained by milling cards, which you can do at level 3. If you mill a card, it's destroyed and you get an amount of scraps listed on the mill button. There is an exception to this though. If the card has recently been nerfed in a patch, you'll have a few days to mill it and receive the full value of the card in scraps. So for example, if the card costs, let's say, 100 to craft, and it was recently nerfed, you'll get the 100 scraps back even if you didn't craft it. This is why buying kegs after a patch rolls out is a really good idea. You'll get extra scraps for nerfed cards that you didn't even have to craft in the first place. The next icon is this little green bag of dust. This is called meteorite powder, and the only thing you'll be using this for is to transmute cards from normal versions to these animated premium versions. This whole thing is purely cosmetic, but with the way the cards are animated, I think it's totally worth it if you have a deck you really like. These animations are super fucking boss looking. A quick note on transmutation though, if you transmute a card, it becomes the animated version. You don't get to keep the normal one that it came from. So if I transmute this Vesemir card to the premium version, I don't keep the regular version. Lastly, meteorite powder is gained by playing matches, or you can straight up just buy it in the store. Now our last icon shows how many kegs you have in your inventory. As I said a little earlier, kegs are basically the game's card packs. You either earn them from matches, as rewards for accomplishing various things in the game, or by straight up buying them. When you open a keg, you'll be presented with 4 face-down cards which you reveal and they become part of your collection. After that, you'll be presented with 3 more cards of a higher rarity, and you'll choose one out of the 3 of these to add to your collection as well, for a total of 5 cards per keg. Again, as I said earlier, the best time to buy these is right after a patch rolls out so you can get the nerf cards to mill for extra scraps and make the cards you really need instead of relying on RNG to give them to you. So now that we understand the UI a little more and we've got some strategies to spend our money and time a little better, let's talk about how you'll progress as a player. As a new player to Gwent, the first thing you're gonna want to do is complete the challenges under the single player tab. The first couple are a little boring, but they teach you a lot about the game and only take a few minutes to complete. Plus, you're rewarded with ore to buy kegs and a bunch of other cool stuff. After those, I highly recommend doing these faction challenges as well for a few different reasons. First, by completing challenges, you'll unlock the other 2 leaders for each faction, which is extremely important because many types of decks rely on having different leaders to make them work properly. Now, you can craft these leaders using scraps, but why waste materials when you can get these cards for free and learn the game at the same time? Second, by playing against each faction, you'll get a feel for how each one works and the type of cards each deck has to offer. This is really helpful for getting the lay of the land and figuring out what kind of deck you might want to go for. And third, these challenges are a fantastic source of ore to buy kegs with. It's basically free money, and it's really not wise to pass that up. But anyway, once you've completed the challenges, you'll want to move over to casual play, as that's the only mode that's available to you until level 10. It's here that you'll gain your first few levels, and as you do so, you'll be rewarded again with various goodies. But in short, to get ahead in Gwent, you really just need to play the game. Now, the last thing I want to do before we wrap up is give you guys a few online resources to help you progress. I'll leave the links for these in the description below. First up is GwentDB, or Gwent Database. This is pretty much your one-stop shop for deck ideas. There's also a complete card catalog and a deck builder to put together your own creations. Next, we've got Gwent Tracker. This is an add-on that allows you to track what's in your deck as you're playing a match. This is basically so you don't have to remember off the top of your head what cards you have left in your deck as you're playing someone. Now, I know this seems kind of like cheating, and I was originally against it, but it is sanctioned and approved by CDPR in all modes, and pretty much everyone uses it in ranked mode and beyond. But when you download this, just unzip it and put the shortcut for it somewhere that's easy to reach. All you need to do then is run this program before you start Gwent. This last resource is Gwent Up. This is a program that is almost identical to Gwent Tracker, with the only real difference being that it's prettier to look at than Gwent Tracker is. So if that's your thing, then this is the one for you. But that's really all I got for you guys in this video. I'm really excited to delve deeper into this game and learn all I can about it, and if you have other questions that I may not have answered, leave them in the comments, and in the future, if there's enough questions and enough interest, maybe I can answer them in another video. Conversely, if I missed anything, let me know that as well so that your fellow viewers can heed your advice. Regardless of all of that though, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like down below and get subscribed if you're new here. Also, consider joining my Discord with the link in the description below. But until next time, I'm BouseFeenux, I'll see you at the next video, and as always, thank you so much for watching.